Hi there. So today I have something new that I'm going to unbox and we're going to put it together and try it out. It is the Lake Country System 4000 pad washer. Ever since I saw this, I think it was Pan the Organizer did a video on it. I can't remember now at this point, but I watched a couple videos on YouTube that looked really interesting and I've been pretty excited about trying this out. So I ordered on Black Friday from Detail King, and I had never ordered anything from them before, but it came pretty quick. So we're going to open it up. All right, so it came in one box, looks like this. There is a single page of instructions, Snappy Clean Boost, which is the cleaning mix. And then this is the pad washer 4000, which looks just like a bucket. So it looks like this picks up like that. And so we've got a reservoir, and the actual like washer unit. So what do we want to do first? It looks like first we want to mix up some cleaning agent, and the cleaning agent goes in the, okay. So this is just a standard bucket, and what you do is you put clean fluid in here, or cleaning fluid, the actual chemical in here, and then you install this, which is a catch basin, so this collects all of the dirty crap. And then this goes on top, which is the actual pad washer, and you can see there's like a spout that goes through it so that it can suck in the fluid from below. So let's mix this up. So we're supposed to take this Snappy Clean Boost and put it in here, and we're supposed to mix it with 1.6 gallons of water. So this is like a yellow powder, and Lake Country sells this. I'm going to try, I'm going to order another package of it, but I'm going to try using P&S Rags to Riches and see if that can replace this because I already have it. So let me take this and I'm going to get 1.6 gallons of water and get that added here. All right, so we have our 1.6 gallons. Clearly I need some sort of larger measuring apparatus because I had to use a 2-cup Pyrex. So we're going to mix this up. I'm just going to use my hand. Okay, and then this goes in place like that. And then this goes in place, and there's like these locking, there's like tabs, slots. So it goes in like that. I think that you want to do like that. Okay, so basically the way this works, this is a pump, and when you push this down, it pumps fluid up to the top. So there, you can see I got a little bit of fluid. So when you're polishing and your pad gets caked up with crap, so let's look at this pad that I have here. It gets caked up with crap, and usually you end up setting these aside, and then I wash them at night. I have a brush, and I use a spray. I put it on, and then I use a brush, and I brush it out, and then I rinse it within the sink, and then I kind of squeeze it out and do all of that, which is great. But then you have to wait like a day, sometimes almost 2 days for a foam pad to dry. I mean, you could probably run it out here and get this thing to spray it off, but the idea with this is you can be polishing, you can clean your pad, you can go right back to polishing. So we're gonna try it. You're supposed to push this down, and it puts a little bit of fluid, okay, on the pad. And then you just kind of run this around this nubbed area, and it cleans your pad out. We've got our PXE80. I'm gonna give it another squirt, and we'll just run this. So there we go. It's rinsed out. Looks good. So now we'll just kind of run it in here. This is supposed to kind of spray all the crap out. It gets caught under this retainer, and it's just supposed to allow the pad to kind of air dry. Cool. So let's try it. Let's actually polish something. So I'm going to polish the door on the Mini, and I'm going to use this pad, and we'll just let it load up, and then we'll use the pad washer and see how it works. All right, so I'm going to put, always shake up your polish, get a little dot in your door, and just put a couple little blobs on there, a little too much, but we'll be okay. So we're going to take this, we're going to run it on the low speed just to kind of spread everything out. Okay, so what I'm going to be interested in here is, this pad was just dirty. It's now a little damp. I want to see how it cuts. And I also want to see how, when it loads up, I can just kind of go back and forth very easily without ending up with like a giant mess. So let's polish this section of the door. All right, so let me take a rag. Okay, so the cutting action is definitely good. It could probably use another pass. Up in here, there's a little bit of haziness. But looking at this part that I just did versus down here where I didn't, like, it's a pretty night and day difference. I know it's gonna be hard to see on the camera. You're gonna have to take my word for it. So I'm gonna run over this one more time, the Jess car, and we'll see how it does. I'll try to get in this edge a little tighter this time. So again, not too bad. All right. So I have one little spot right here, one scratch, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out. I'll probably give it one more shot. But other than that, the top looks good. Okay, cool. So, I'm going to hit this one little spot here real quick, one more time, and then I'm just going to kind of go down and do another section of the door. All right, and we're there. Great. So now I'm going to go down. I'm just going to do another section of the door. It's a bigger section, I know, but I'm just going to kind of go, you know, another piece. So maybe down to like here, all the way across. So, just gonna so we're still cleaning up well, we're still cutting well. Let's take this and clean out the pad. Normally I would do that at this point anyway. So do it right here on camera, in between two pretty clean cars. Hopefully it doesn't make a huge mess. So that, maybe 2 squirts. So I'm just running it on low speed. Okay, so that was a mistake. I lifted it too high, got it on the door. So that's something to be careful of. You want to keep it down and keep it flat so you end up with pad splatter. But at this point, my pad is pretty clean. So we'll take it and lift it up just a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, that was a mistake as well. So let's wipe this off. I probably need some eraser, but wipe this off, clean the car up, and I'm going to try to dry this pad without getting it all over the car. So So on the PXC80, you really only need to use like setting number 2. So there's my clean pad, looks good. And other than me picking it out of the bucket, I actually didn't get anything else on the car. So still a little bit on the window from that first shot. Oops. And now I have to wash the Mercedes. Anyway, so it appears to work well. I like the setup. So if we take a look, we should be able to, yeah. So we can pull this out. That's our cleaning agent is below, and then this is like our dirty reservoir here in my hand. So this is going to collect all of our crap, right? All of our stuff. And when we take this lid off, it's going to leak out this bottom hole. So really, you're supposed to do that when this bucket is empty, not when there's still stuff in the bucket. But anyway, it seems to work really, really well. And I could see this, you know, I have 6, 7, 8 different pads. I have Rupes wool, Rupes microfiber, Rupes foam, and most of those I have in multiple different colors, blue, yellow, white, in 3-inch and 5-inch. And having enough pads handy to do an entire car, it gets expensive. They're like, you know, $12 a piece, something like that now, a lot of those pads. So for me to have that many pads on hand to do an entire car, that could be expensive, especially for somebody who's maybe a professional detailer who's doing this all day, who's doing multiple cars. So what I end up doing is I use it, I do a portion of the car, then I end up to the point where like I have no yellow 3-inch pads left. So now I'm either trying to use a different pad that isn't the pad that I really need to use, or I'm washing them in my sink and waiting for them to dry, air dry, because you don't want to put them in the dryer, they fall apart. So it really slows down the process when you're trying to do a whole car. I think that this can speed up the process tremendously, especially if you can just continuously wash. And eventually it's going to get to the point where it's probably a little bit too dirty, but I don't know that it would. I mean, it would probably end up just me throwing the pad away at that point. But you see how I was able to just do a section of door. I started with a dirty pad, clean the pad, do a whole door, well, half a door, and then wash the pad out. And it's now, you know, it's clean. It's a little damp, just like it was at the beginning, but I could very easily, just like I did at the beginning, use it again and do my whole door. So you can end up with a pretty clean pad at the end of this. We can try it with a couple other tools. Obviously I used it with a 3-inch. There are other people that have done videos with a 5-inch, but I have a Nano as well. So here's another 3-inch pad. We'll just do that really quick. So this has, I believe it's Cut Max on it. It's from when the deer hit my car. I did a video on that. So again, we're just gonna kind of put this here. We're gonna do a little squirty squirt. It gets this wet, and then we're just going to run it on low speed and just kind of keep it down and just go around the edge, around these like bumps, and it'll kind of slowly clean this out. If you need more squirt, you can get it. There's our pad, nice and clean. And you really only need like speed 2, because anything faster than that, it makes kind of like a cloud around you, and it's like my hands are wet, my arms are getting wet. So I would say speed 2 is really good, and you can see the pad's kind of almost starting to deform when it's doing that. But there we go. It's nice and dry. Well, slightly damp. So let's try this with this is a Nano long neck. I've got a couple different ones. I've got a microfiber pad that's just matted down. I've got a blue Rupes pad and a couple yellows. So let's try this microfiber pad. I haven't done one of those yet. So. All right, so I just worked it on setting 1, and then I dried it on like setting number 3, And this is actually mostly dry. This is a Lake Country microfiber pad, a 1-inch. So that worked well. Let's try a couple of these. So these are yellow pads, but as you can see, they're gray. And these are, again, all from when I did the mini. So just get a squirt. Okay, and give this one more squirt. Okay, dry it out. There we go, nice and clean. So I got a couple more here. I'm going to do those quick, and they're, you know, kind of the same way. Gray, and this one's white. So just go through and do all those quick. There's that one, clean. So really what you want to do is you get the squirt, and there's kind of these nubs here as well as these ribs. You just kind of want to work it, and then I think you just want to lift it up slightly, and you want to see like what it ejects. So I just kind of do it, it ejects gray, do it again, ejects gray, do it again, and then it's ejecting clear. Okay, so now I know my liquid is kind of clear for the most part. So then I can dry like this, and now that I'm dry, I can take that one off. Now we'll do the blue one. We'll see if that's any different. It's probably not. There's my blue pad, nice and clean. I've got one more yellow pad here. I'll just do that one real quick. All right, there's my last one. Was gray, now yellow. So I think the thing here is, you know, it works really well. Obviously, it takes a little bit of practice to do it well, because you saw me shoot it all over my door. But it didn't take much. I just did like 6 pads with it, which is pretty cool. I probably cleaned them faster than I can clean them in my sink. And they're mostly dry at this point, which is kind of nice, which is something that is really difficult to do in your sink. I mean, you can kind of wrap it in a towel and squeeze them and pull as much water as you can out of them, but you still end up with like a mostly wet pad. And not to mention that when you're washing them in your sink, if you're not using DI water and you have poor water, like you are leaving sediment behind inside the pads and stuff like that. So I've always worried about that. So my water's like 400 TDS, it's awful. So here I end up with a pretty clean situation. Now, I would question whether the Snappy cleaner agent, whatever that package is, I would question whether the Snappy cleaning agent would break down any polishes or cause any performance issues with certain polishes if there's you know, residue left in this. But these are pretty dry. I mean, I don't know how I can show that, but it's just hard to see. But they're really, I mean, they're slightly damp. They're not that wet. You know, you can't even like squeeze anything out of it. So I think that it works pretty well. I think the drying portion is pretty good. You need to get your speeds down, and it seems to be a little bit different with each polisher. You know, this one I was able to run faster, the Nano, than I was the 3-inch. But my Nano has less throw than my 3-inch, so it might be the throw that makes it spray. I've watched many videos where they've done it with the 5-inch. It works the same way. You know, obviously that's what this is designed for, 5- and 6-inch machines that have bigger pads, so they can totally be accommodated. But yeah, I really like it. So I'm just waiting on one last thing. and I feel my polishing arsenal will be pretty complete. I now have Rupes microfiber pads, Rupes wool pads, Rupes foam pads in all of the different colors in both 3-inch and 5-inch sizes. I have wool pads in a 1-inch as well as the foam pads in a 1-inch. And then I have Sonax Cut Max, Just Car Correction Compound, Sonax Perfect Finish, as well as a couple other Rupes and Koshemi products that we're going to try out here. So I'm waiting on one more thing, which is the Rupes HLR75. So I ordered that. It should ship out next week. So this is like December 4th, I'm recording this. It's supposed to ship out next Friday. So I guess that I'll probably have it in my hand in probably about 2 weeks because it's going to come out of Florida. So when that arrives, I will at that point have pretty much everything I need. And I'm going to do the entire Mini, polish the whole thing, glass, all the doors, panels, take the wheels off, kind of clean it all up. And I'm just going to do it as best I possibly can. I'm going to use all of the different tools, and I'm going to try to figure out which ones I like the best, which pads I like the best. And also at the same point acknowledging that just because a pad works well on the Mini or a compound works well on the Mini doesn't mean it's going to work well on everything. What works on the Mini might not work on the Mercedes, for example, right next to me. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you are interested in one of these Lake Country System 4000 pad washers, I can post a link in the description. There are a bunch of different places that you can get them directly from Lake Country. The Rag Company has them. I've seen them on, I bought mine from Detail King because it happened to be on sale for Black Friday. I haven't seen them on Amazon in stock or Prime or anything like that. But I'll post a link in the description. None of them are going to be affiliate links because I don't have any place that I can get them that has affiliation, but they are pretty good. So I do like it a lot. So anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll have yourself a great day.